Hello, everybody. This is Pete from PA Labs, continuing my discussion on the new tiling of the Ultimate Map Maker. So we were talking about when you click a tile onto the screen, it actually looks at all eight squares around that tile, and then it looks at each of those eight tiles and looks at what surrounds each of those eight tiles to figure out what all needs to be done to the screen. And I want to walk through some of this code because it's kind of cool. I use the binary enumeration, and let's go ahead and go up here to track point. So there's 3 or 4 functions I had to build. Let's see, who is the biggie that I was working on? Handling merge, DDDI, this is it. Okay, so when you click to put a tile on the screen, and I'm talking about the tiles that are the ones that grow big with the borders and are real cute. What he's doing is he goes and looks up. He gets the list of visited back from the FloodFill function of the 8 surrounding, and I limited it movement wise just to 1. So it just gave me the 8 surrounding tiles around the tile I selected, the hex I selected. And then the tile I selected carries a direction of -1. Everybody else carries the numeric of the direction. And then from that origin. And then I spin all of those tiles. So I have mine that I just clicked, and the else clause picks up everybody else. Okay, all 8 of the surrounding tiles to look around them to see what they need to be changed to. And then what we do is it calls into this function here of handling the merge. And then whether you are the tile I selected or the 8 surrounding, it runs through this process to identify what tile needs to be placed at this point that we're looking at. So initially it runs against -1, and then it goes to 0 through 8 of the surrounding 8 tiles. That would be north, south, east, west, and then the diagonal 4 as well. And so it returns the value, the function returns the value of what is the connectors. So if the value that comes back from the mapping, which is the flood fill, I get the visited loaded, and I get this value back. Okay, so the value back tells me what tiles in what direction have a tile of this same set. Okay, so I can take that value and ask, hey, does this value and south? In other words, does it include the direction south? Does it include the direction north? And what I'm doing is tracking what is the eventual which way we want the tile to face and to be. Okay, so if it comes back as 0, it needs to be all the tiles. If it comes back, because 0 would mean there's no surrounding of the 8 match my tile set. And then if all of them come back, that would have a max of the 8 directions being a total of 15, or the 4 directions being 15, which tells me everybody. Okay, now we have to actually come into looking at, and what we're trying to do is figure out what is the tile I need to place in this spot. So we then look to say, okay, do you have north, south, east, west, And here's where the other values kicked in from the binary of 16, 32, 64, 128, northeast, southeast, that's the diagonals. And that tells me which tile I'm going to use. Okay, and then we go from the big guy to that's every direction. So that tile specifically is the and I've changed the size of these to 96 by 96 is just no borders, just a flat center. Okay, with no border tile at all. And then we start looking at the threes. So how many of you are threes? Here we have three different sets of three directions: north, south, and east, north, east and west, all the way through. So this is picking what tile to actually do. This function returns the tile to place into that particular hex. So we go pull the hit onto the flood fill, and then we take the values that kick back based on being binary enumeration. We then take that value, pass that value through that function, and therefore I know that's what this handle merge is. And here's the value coming back from the flood fill. And then we run it through the handle merge to get the hold value. And the hold value is actually the tile value that we're going to place of the tile on the SpriteSheet. So the SpriteSheet now has, I've made the tiles 96 by 96, and then tile 0 is a flat bottom. Tile 1 is facing north. Tile 2 is facing south, or whatever the direction was. And so the actual tiles match now the enumeration. And then with doing this, I was able to actually build that whole cool area of a tile by just free drawing. Okay, now it's not 100% perfect. There's a couple tiles, and of course my hand isn't as it moves around a bit all on its own, kind of like that. But then you can just click them in, and you get a couple weird ones. I haven't fully beat it to death on the debugging. But I mean, it's working pretty doggone good. I think it knows what it's doing, which is pretty cool. Now, the other thing that I've done here in the last couple days, when you get to the B tiles and you come down here to where you got these great big cool things, I want to put this gate in, but that's a 3x2. I got to get rid of that flicker, but it's a 3x2. Well, I've now made this to where you can left click and drag your cursor, and he selects all 6 of these squares. So I can now come over here and, oops, my debug's still on, and place that gate. See that? Isn't that pretty neato? I liked it anyhow. I thought it was pretty slick. So what I do not have working yet, and this is still a pet peeve of mine, and I'll get it eventually, is they actually have a, the dungeon tile set doesn't have it, I don't believe. If it did, it would be an A. Let me take a look. The gate posts, the fencing, to where the fencing is pretty strange. This might be one. Let's do it this way. Nah, that's not a good one. I don't think I have a fence post here. Oh, well, I can't show you. But fence posts don't work. I'm still working on it. That actually is, they yet again have a derivative I haven't figured out out of that tile set. But I mean, it's really coming together pretty good. The import's working good, although it's been written 12 times now. Um, yeah, I think this is coming along pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put the code out there today for y'all. And so you can actually download this copy of this and take a look at the code specifically to these last two videos. You want to really drill into the choosing of tiles, which is getting the tile IDs, and well, that's the multiple guy. But down here, it all begins really with the draw action. The draw action is the big function that says, okay, you're drawing something. Now, what is it that you want to draw? Uh, so, um, yeah, I think this has come along quite a ways. It's all pretty slick, but that's been the definition and the design behind how all of this works. And I wanted to get that out there to you all. And I want to thank you all for watching.